It's very unlikely that it will happen again. I'm surprised it happened at all, to be honest. But
this quickly.
yeah, Vici were. It was funny at the minor as well that anybody else thought people thought anybody else might win. The only team that might have contested them with games was Gambit at the minor, but they had a stand-in as well. So like, Vici was just on a completely different level to everybody else at that minor tournament.
Yeah,
and it honestly wasn't a surprise to see them do well at the major either, because they were playing so well. They had momentum behind them. I thought they would get top 6, but didn't think they'd win. It was really impressive.
There was like a split second I thought top 3 was going to be all Chinese teams.
That would have been, really impressive. I was a bit disappointed by Keen at the major. I thought, when they got to the top 6, they kind of really fell off a little bit on the main stage, which was a shame.
Yeah, it was a little tough for them, but experience will make them better. And I think this is a squad that has been gaining experience, and not just gaining it, but using it. So, Nyx Assassin for the 100%. For Vici. Nyx and Oracle.
Yeah, I think it's really important when you play this Oracle as a 5 that you have a hero with catch as your position 4, or like some way of initiation. So this Nyx is a decent pickup. Kind of allows them to make plays across the map as well. I was surprised it made it through the first phase picks and then the second phase bans as well, to be honest. We've seen it been picked up a lot recently.
I hope they don't repeat what they did in the series yesterday, where they did the Medusa and Nyx Oracle and then picked up the Huskar. But then they waited so long that the Huskar was basically not a hero to worry about from their opponents, and they just got steamrolled.
That's a Beastmaster.
It's the second time Royal picked it today. They picked it in the previous series.
Okay. So obviously Beastmaster Venge is like a classic combo, right, where you get this push going. They could pick up something like a Luna now as well if they really wanted, but I feel like that hero is difficult to make work. But Luna Abaddon sounds like an okay lane. I just really like this Darkseid pick by Oh. It's a very good AM game. Oh boy. This is exciting. Something new, something fresh.
Something new, something blue.
I think if you want to beat Vici in this game as well, like, you have to take them by surprise a little bit and go for something different. I think if you, like we saw, if we try and play them at a normal game of Dota, like, they're just gonna, they know how they want to play. I just throw a spanner in the works, and I think the AM does. It's really good against the Deucer, obviously, in a 1v1 versus the Mana Shield. It lanes well against the Darkseer as well. I'm worried that their draft's a little bit single target focused on Royal. Like, if you don't kill somebody in the duration of the Raw, it's going to be difficult for you in the 10 to 15 minute mark. And they have an Oracle on Vici, so they can just take that Raw off straight away with the False Promise.
You need
like,
one
all of their spells on their 3-4-5 are like all single target, which is not fun.
Could they go something just control like Puck, get a Dream Coil in there and continue that control, or is that still not the right move?
Puck's okay, but it's not a great Puck game against the Nyx. Like, Nyx just destroys that hero single-handedly, it feels like, with the Carapace and the Mana Burn. Okay, that's a better choice. It's a similar kind of hero, right? Where it is single target again, but it bridges the gap where their draft is weak. Like, if they get to the 30-minute mark plus, then this AM should theoretically be able to win them the game. But they need a hero that allows them to make sure they don't lose really early. I'd really like to see a Viper here from Vici. I think it's a really good Viper game. The break's really good against the DK and the AM. The Viper strike's really nice with the extra magic damage coming through from the Darkseer as well.
Whoa!
Oh, what? They're playing TB and Deucer. Oh, I don't like this. I really don't like this. I feel like what Vici have been doing so well because they have heroes that can make plays on the map while somebody else is farming. Like, it doesn't matter what hero's farming for them, but they don't really have that playmaking potential this game. I feel like AM should just be able to take over here while the Beastmaster and the DK just play together and take towers. This is so greedy from Vici.
super greed coming out from Vici. Paparazi safe lane on the Terrorblade, mid Medusa. It gets Medusa a good matchup though.
Yeah, like it's okay. But DK's still gonna farm. Like he just gets this Quelling Blade, just sits in lane with Dragon's Blood, buys a Soul Ring. He's not really worried. Especially up to like the level 5 mark, the DK should be absolutely fine. As long as I think if they can play around this DK form and get this mid tier 1 down early, I think Vici are in real trouble. It'll all depend whether Vici can defend their mid tier 1 tower or not. I think you might see Yang TPing in as well and trying to defend their mid tier 1 to really put emphasis on keeping it alive for as long as they can. I'm not sure about this TB and Deucer on the same team. I feel like they've been playing so well with these heroes that make space. I'm surprised they haven't gone for something similar this game.
So, what should be the game plan for Vici? Are they?
You just have to shove waves out constantly. Like this TB needs to cut waves with the illusions. The Darkseid just need to shove waves out with a Helm of the Dom Iron Shell all the time. They need to keep the game alive, because if this DK starts snowballing and taking all your towers, if you get kind of like stuck in your base or like the map gets cut off from you at any point in this game, they're really going to struggle to find their farm. And if Deuce and TB both struggle to find farm, they're not really going to come online.
How do they take care of the AM?
They have the TB reflection, so it's okay. But this AM should get a really good Battle Fury Manta time. They have the Nyx stun as well, which is okay. Like Medusa's not in a vacuum. Medusa's awful against AM, right? But a lot of the time we used to see this Medusa would come online a lot quicker than the AM, and then you would group up as 5 and just push. So they could look to do it like that on Vici. I feel like they don't really have the playmaking potential to be able to play and like make kills happen across the map before they group up as 5. I think it's really difficult for them. I'd love to get proven wrong because they've played so well today, but we'll have to see how it, ends up turning out.
See how Yang does here with the Nyx Assassin. Going with the Iron Shell immediately. DY pressuring these creeps. May not be able to pull them, but double Ion Shell. And it comes down to if they're even going to make it to the tier 1 tower. And yeah, they won't. So instead of having the pull, you just clean the creep wave up immediately.
This is such a common thing we see now, though, where you do that at level 1 before the creeps even reach the lane.
Creeps under tower makes it hard for this anti-mage to, reliably grab these last hits, but at the same time, DY get a couple of shots on him, and then the miscoil comes out. That's a bit of a problem. Already sitting low on health.
The thing I really like about this as well, that the Nyx got level, took the XP with the Darkseid for the first wave, but now he's let the Darkseid get level 2, so he has a surge available. So now they can basically just chase this AM down under tower. It's, yeah, it's just really efficient. I like this a lot. And you see, Darkseid doesn't even have to pull the creep wave because the Nyx can just bring it to him.
So, let's see as Anti-Mage and Abaddon's staying away from the lane as well, so giving up the experience to this Anti-Mage. Impale.
This AM is not last hitting well under the tower. He's missed like 5 last hits so far. It's just been like what happens is the tower, it hits a melee creep 5 times, and then it's really close as to whether you can one-shot it afterwards with the Quelling Blade. So he needs to be dropping his Quelling Blade under tower, hitting it once, letting the tower hit the creep 5 times, and then hitting the creep again. But he's not dropping his Quelling Blade. So he's missed out on like a lot of gold already.
Now he's actually pulled over the creeps to this side camp.
Gotta be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed, I feel like, last hitting under tower is something that you should be, solid with.
It's, I think, maybe a little bit tough. A lot of pressure on you. But, yeah, you've got to be reliably hitting those last hits. He missed that range creep, too.
And he's got his Sorrowing coming out on the courier on the Darkseid now, too. He'll be able to keep sustaining the pressure up in this lane.
It's, not the most active game in terms of kills this early on from what we've seen previously, but it's methodical again from Vici, playing this top lane perfectly.
Definitely. And the thing is, the Abaddon has to stay up here as well, because if he doesn't, the Starkster Nyx are just going to pressure the AM under the tower with the creep wave. They can glyph it when if they really want, when they get it online, and just dive the tower with the catapult. So Abaddon's going to just have to keep messing around with them if he can.
DY pressuring DDC. Meanwhile, bottom. Fade. He'll drop, but September goes down in response. Paparazi gets a kill. Flyby's the one who gets Fade, so it's at least active in a different lane. And though Paparazi, he uses that Metamorphosis for the second time and is farming and gets himself a kill off it. But we take a look over mid. Ori against 897, who has no mana remaining. Has the Mango as well as the Wand, but this is so hard to stand against this Mystic Snake.
Yeah, it's got, when it gets to that level 5, the Mystic Snake starts to really output a lot of damage. And you see here, the Nyx is going to come in as well.
Yeah, they might be able to get the kill on 897. He uses that Wand, has DDC. So Miscoil and the Wand is more than enough heal to stay alive.
What happened to building Bracer against Medusa? Sorry, not Bracer, a Soul Ring. I feel like I've seen this in the last few DKs I've seen in this matchup. They just completely ignore the item. And then you lose all your mana, like this, and then you can't have Breathe Fire anymore. I don't really understand.
Not sure why. It seems like such a simple... If you want Breathe Fire, you're going to need Soul Ring. Otherwise, you're just sitting here without any mana. They've now left Anti-Mage by himself top.
AM's just missing last hits under tower. What's happening? He's missed another 2. I don't get it.
Fade dying to DDC bottom. So I'm focusing on this Anti-Mage. Oh, maybe a little bit too much. I'm putting too much pressure on him.
Yeah. I'm going to keep looking at him as well. You can cast a game. I'm just going to put him in the spotlight. You give me the updates.
I want to stop missing kills because I'm watching this Anti-Mage miss last hits. I'm focusing on him because I feel like they desperately need him to succeed. And he's been given this open lane, but at the same time, if you're missing a good stack of last hits, that's going to become a problem.
Oh, yeah, 100%. This DK's popped Dragon for mid as well, by the way. So they really need to look to try and play around this. You see the Avengers rotating mid as well. Going to put a Deep Observer Ward down. Because they really need to try and push with this catapult. With the Elder Dragon form as well. And they might be able to try and punish this Deucer here.
We'll see. They do have TPs available over for mid if they start to dive. Or he got the shield out. And now 897, he's under the tower, and they don't have enough to get the kill onto this Medusa. But coming over, DY might be able to get 897. The damage comes through, and they have the shockwave from the Satyr, and yeah, they kill 897. They dive for Ori, and it's almost half-assed. They thought about going in and gave up.
Normally, you would hit the tower once as a DK so that the poison applies, and then carry on doing something else. But he just didn't even hit the tower with the Dragon form. You just let it stay, good HP. And this is what we talked about in the draft, though. It's really important you keep your tier 1 alive. So I wasn't surprised to see that Darkseid rotate into the defense. Because it's really important they just keep this access to their jungle away from the side of Royal. And this Darkseid's just going to keep shoving in top lane. Just jungling as well, farming more than the AM.
A lot of pressure coming out on the AM with the Iron Shell. When you've got the Iron Shell on these creeps, it makes it much harder for him to farm reliably. And the blink into DY.
He missed the stun, though.
Had he hit that, that could have been his life. And they look bottom for Fade, but 3 heroes here, they just cannot grab the Oracle.
I mean, this Darkseid has 78 CS in 7.5 minutes. Like, he's... I know a lot of them are neutrals and small creeps and whatnot, but it's still very impressive.
He sits top of the net worth, so you know, it really is working out for him. And they're looking to take away this top tier 1 out of the hands of this anti-mage. Vici,
They might look to try and make a play on the DK here. Yeah, they get the stun off.
They've got the Impale, and Ori moving forward. They're looking for a Breathe Fire back, pop the Spike Carapace, now getting in front of 897. The Mystic Snake hits, and Ori gets the kill over mid with the help of DY.
The problem is, like, we were saying about their draft being really greedy on Vici, but when you have these two supports in the Venge and the Abaddon, they're both so defensive. Like, they can't make plays on the map in the same way that the Nyx can. The Venge stun's nice, but it's not amazing. Like, if you look at the stun duration difference between the two, when they're both level 2, the Impale has an extra 0.4 seconds of stun time over the Venge's. The Venge's stun always feels like more of a setup rather than like some kind of ganking material. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And ooh, hold on, flyby. Bottom wave of Turk comes out, so they've got 3 heroes here for the side of Royal Academy. But Paparazi goes into the Metamorphosis, takes out DDC. Now going after September, the Primal Roar comes in, but
what?
Is it?
He roared an illusion.
Okay.
Pico, what's happening?
I don't know.
I just need to close my window.
Yeah. I thought Paparazi might be able to do enough damage to get a secondary kill there, but he's using this Metamorphosis. He's farming really well. And again, we go back to the point we were trying to make where this lineup was a little bit greedy. But look at the Medusa and look at the Terrible. Their 2 net worths have been climbing together evenly.
I am back. Can you still hear it in the background?
Hear what?
Okay, that's fine. If you can't hear it, that's fine.
I couldn't hear anything.
Someone's cutting trees outside the house, so it's you know, it's pretty loud. I don't want to upset the viewer experience.
So I don't know if you heard me say it, but the Medusa and the Terrablade's net worth has been climbing steadily together at about the same level the entire time. And this is what we called a greedy lineup, but the greed's working out.
We have to remember though that the AM can just still take over the game. Like, at some point he's going to have this Battle Fury Manta and then just outfarm them both. But can he outcarry 2 heroes by himself is the question.
Oh, Magic Missile on the Medusa, because I believe the Medusa was TPing over bottom. The Fortune's End comes through onto the DK, and he's just dead. DDC might even be next.
Oh, the Venge stayed alive. Is this Abaddon? Has he got stun?
Oh, Primal Roar.
Oh,
He's got
okay.
the Primal Roar behind him, but Flyby still taking a lot of damage. False Promise laid on to this Nyx Assassin. He stays alive. Yang chasing with the Ion Shell. DDC's dead to Fade.
And they have the DK Wall Illusion as well, which is going to help them push.
Oh, Mana Void, but doesn't get the kill. He doesn't get the kill on a Yang. Oh, no.
Gives him the dancing shoes dude as well. And all in the meanwhile, Ori's just farming. Paparazi's just farming.
Oh, no.
This is... Yeah. I'm not really sure. It feels like Royal are just making some silly mistakes that they wouldn't normally make this game as well. Like, I criticize the CS under tower, but it's like roaring an illusion. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're just not, you know, it's not their day.
That seems very odd. They're down 4,000 net worth. We'll see if the Anti-Mage can bring it back. He's not too far away from this Battle Fury. He's still the full Demon Edge price away. But if he can get it at a relatively nice time, like you said, he could still take over the game.
Oh yeah, 100%. He is about 2,000 gold away, which is worrying. You know, it has to be said, he's gone for the Morbid Masks to help his sustain and lane against the Darkseid first, but...
The Centaur Stomp, DDC.
Oh.
He denies himself.
I mean, that's nice, but you're losing your tower. This opens up access to the Roche pit for the Radiant side now. So they have, when they have next have Meta available again and the Deucer, they can look to try and take that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You're going for the tier 2 still. They're gonna continue to pressure. This is something we saw from Vici in the last game too, where if they think they can get towers, they're gonna pressure them as much as possible and take away these outer towers, take away these areas to farm for Royal. Cut off the map and choke them out and make sure that they can't farm as efficiently.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Why don't we still see more Quelling Blades on Deucer? That's what I want to know. We used to see it all the time, where, especially mid-Deucers, they would buy the Quelling Blade just to have in their inventory to, like, help cut trees through, like, being able to farm more than one camp at a time. And it also gives you 7 damage for 200 gold. Like, it's so efficient. Like, you've got this Fairy Fire in your inventory, just buy a Quelling Blade instead. I don't know.
Is it just because it, for them, doesn't really turn into anything?
Yeah, it doesn't, but it's only 200 gold, and it helps you farm more efficiently. So, I'm not really sure why you wouldn't buy it.
They got the scan. Radiant got the scan. Knew they're coming. The swap comes out on Ori. Immediately, the Stone Gaze comes out. They'll get the TP over. The Primal Roar has already been used. The False Promise keeps Ori alive, who really wasn't in much trouble. The stun hits, and September will fall. It was a great scan.
This is what we mentioned. We mentioned before, like, if you don't get a kill during the Roar duration, how are you killing anybody? And it happened there. Like, you Roar somebody, but Deucer got the Stone Gaze off first. So it just didn't matter. And then they got the False Promise off. And they all of a sudden they just have to try and run away. Like, they have to just disengage. If they don't run into one person by themselves, they're probably not getting the kill. Like, as long as this Deucer just hugs the TB and the... Sorry, if the Oracle just hugs the TB Medusa all game, then they shouldn't really be getting picked off.
Ori has the Manta Style and 100 gold. Manta Style also being built for the Terrorblade, who's got the drums and the Yasha. So they'll have really, 2 Mantas. Be okay. Go on. Sorry.
Which is nice. But the AM's really close to Battle Fury as well. So, yeah, in terms of Royal, what they can do. Is he going to sell his... Yeah, okay, he sold his Magic Wand recipe and whatnot that he had in his backpack just to make sure he got the Battle Fury next to the secret shop.
We'll see if they can turn the game around, but again, Vici staying objective. They go for the top tier 2. They'll take it. They'll try to cut off these towers, cut off this area to farm, and the Primal Roar comes out onto Ori over mid, as well as the Magic Missile trying to run, has the Manta Style, and here comes Fade. Fade will be ready with the False Promise in 16 seconds. They'll take out September. The Stone Gaze comes through, so now Flyby will fall. They've turned GDC to stone. That's 3 heroes dead on the side of Royal. Vici continuing to just move forward, and the wall is being dropped on top of 897. Fortune's End rooting him in place. And they've got the Dragon Tail, but it's a triple kill for Ori. And they will take out 4.
Did they not try and put 4 people on that Deucer to kill her then?
Yeah.
Before anybody else TP'd in, and they didn't get the kill.
Yep.
And that was in a Raw duration as well. Okay. Well, if you can't kill the Deucer in that situation, when she's by us, when are you going to be able to kill her?
And that was without False Promise. Like, she wasn't saved by False Promise or anything. The False Promise was on cooldown and never used. So they could still even move up with that, too. And feel more than safe to get a save somewhere.
This AM... It feels like, you know, he's going to go for this Manta next, but it feels like he needs a Manta. Oh.
Borrowed Time is popped, but again, you'll go back to full health. Does it really matter? They can take it out very quickly again.
I was just saying, I like that they don't care about him going back to full health because they can just kill him in a second afterwards. Like, this is... Oh, and there's the DD as well. Can they just go Roche? Yeah, or he just heads into the pit.
Yeah, double damage. Why not head into the pit? They've got the team here. They've got Fade here. Pop the Lincolns and have Paparazi ready with you, too.
Yeah, Paparazi has a really high armor, so he can just sit in the front line, tanking the damage. And they kill the Hawk as well, so Royal aren't going to have the vision in the pit that they need, but even if they did, I'm not really sure how they can test this with the DD Deucer being there.
And that was without using Metamorphosis, which was on cooldown. So now they've got the Aegis. They're going to have Metamorphosis to work with.
Is under attack.
Wow. They could really just take a fight and push from there. Again, it comes down to how many more fights can you lose as Royal. And they've got the Yules onto the DK. The Impale follows it up. There's Metamorphosis popped. Swap coming in, but he's rooted up by the Fortune's End, and he ends up dying anyway.
Doesn't that DK have an ability that gives him extra armor? Because it didn't look like it, I'll be honest.
Shred right through him despite the 12 extra armor.
This AM is just trying to constantly shove lanes in and whatnot, though. You know, he's doing a really good job of trying to keep the game alive. It's just everybody else on his team is kind of lacking a little bit here, especially in terms of farm comparison to Vici. With this Aegis, they can...
With the Aegis, they're not going to stop. They've Metamorphosis for about of 25% of the duration. Ori moving on to the high ground with the Aegis.
Dire structures are fortified.
It really, you're banking on the Anti-Mage, but Anti-Mage has to go soon. He's gotta go.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And Deucer has the snake talent from the level 15 now as well, so DK just loses half of his mana as soon as he gets hit by a snake. But they basically just have to keep their base alive for as long as they can while this AM just carries on, you know, split pushing lanes like that all the time. That's the only way that Royal come back into this game now. And you see Vici are all heading over to try and deal with him. He can just, you know, TP away now.
Dire's
He knows
top
that something's
shrine
up.
is under attack.
Good game.
Anti-Mage just stuck in these trees, forced to TP over. Vici playing
Dire's top shrine is under
perfect
attack.
again. Comes down to, you know, making sure this Anti-Mage and his farm doesn't come back to haunt you.
Dire's
They're
top
still up
shrine
10,000 net
is
worth. They've been able to take care of most of the team. The Anti-Mage, of course, hasn't died, hasn't participated in any kills or anything yet. So we'll see once he finally does if it's going to make a difference. Dragon Tail comes out onto the Oracle. The wall's placed down. They've also got the stun coming through onto 897. The swap onto the high ground, getting him out of harm's way. But now Spike Carapace hits him and he's stuck there. But they'll get the kill into September and at least find one.
Yeah, I mean, the Venge just has... That's the Venge lifestyle, isn't it? Sometimes you just have to give your life up for the cause.
are fortified.
And AM and Beastmaster were pushing in bot lane. They get some damage on the tier 3, which is nice.
Primal Roar onto the Darkseer, but
He has a vac as well to cancel to cancel a TB by flyby here, so it looks like it might be a slow burnt out death.
Dire's bottom
There's the
shrine is
vacuum
under
back,
attack.
and we've got the Yules once more, setting up the Impale. It'll land. Purifying Flames will hit from Fade to get the kill into Flyby.
Radiant's top
AM is still taking the top tier 1 though, so you know, Royal are getting something out of the map at this point in return. He has his Manta style up as well now, so can take off the reflection from the TV. But yeah, with this Aegis from Vici, they are, and the Butterfly and the Deucer actually, they are just going to look to try and mow down the racks here.
Dire's middle barracks.
So they get themselves the mid-racks. Anti-Mage is still not showing up.
Middle barracks.
He's going to try and push over top. Go for the tier 3 tower, and again, Anti-Mage just pressuring the top lane. I'm waiting to see when he finally TPs in. But
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
They just called it.
Dire's top barracks.
That's it.
okay. He never fought.
I mean, it's so difficult though, right?
But at least
Like,
try, right? You
if-
gotta give it one
Yeah.
fighting chance.
I mean, yeah, you could, but if the AM goes in, and he has no, if his other cores on his team are really struggling to do well, like he needs backup still to be able to get his damage off. Like we talked about, he's playing against these two greedy cores in the Deuce and the TB that are just gonna out damage him if he jumps into a fight. It's they're 15k behind at 21 minutes. It's you can try, but it's it's not going to go well.
Wow, I think you just try once. You always try. I don't know. That's personal ideology. But yeah, 17-3, Vici qualified for Disneyland. Very well done there. I mean, 2 sub 30-minute games from Vici to beat Royal in this lower bracket final. It worked out perfectly for them. It's them, Keen Gaming, and LGD. So, I mean, congratulations to Vici. Nothing taken away from them. We thought this was an overly greedy draft from them, too. And look how well they made it work.
Well, on paper it is, right? But the lanes just didn't go as well for Royal as they were hoping. This DK kind of got crushed mid, which is a difficult matchup against the Duso, I agree. But just I don't know. I feel like there were just some mistakes coming out in the game that Royal could have avoided. But again, at the same time, I think Vici is just on a different level. Like, it's not a surprise. They won the major. They come through. Now, on paper, they are the much stronger team. And they proved that today. They played very well across all 4 games that we cast from them.
Yeah.
I dread to think what the average game time was.
It was definitely not long. Vici took care of business. I'm really proud. And this is, obviously I'm a Chinese Dota fanboy. But I'm really proud of Vici because, and it goes back to major qualifiers of the last tournament. They don't qualify. They go to minor qualifiers. They think they're going to get rid of Fade. They swap in Aggressive. That doesn't go well. They're in the lower bracket of minor qualifiers. They're 1 best-of-3 loss away from losing and probably roster swapping. Then they win the minor. They win the major after bringing Fade back and qualifying for the minor and winning the minor and winning the major. And now they've qualified for TI. They're holding the roster, and they look to be in the best form I've seen them in so long. I mean, that major win, excluding the minor, and I know that's not really fair to the stat, but excluding the minor, the major win was the first time Vici had won a tournament since 2015.
Well, they kept coming to finals and finishing second, didn't they?
Yeah, they took a lot of second place, a lot of third, but that was the first tournament victory in 3 years plus. Like that, they are in solid form. They look amazing.
Imagine if you got to all these finals and then you couldn't quite finish them off as well. It must give you such a confidence boost when you get to that major final. You finally push through and beat VP. Like, it's not like VP are a very good team, obviously. Like, they've been the best in the world, it feels like, for a long time. To finally push over that line and win a tournament, it must feel like such a weight off their shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, as in mentally, they must feel a complete relief almost. And they're probably playing with so much more freedom now than they ever have before.
Yeah, they must be feeling great, and honestly, it makes me really happy to see that. And even working 2 months straight and continuing to have all this success. So again, congratulations to Vici. You guys are going to Disneyland. Hopefully, we get to see you there. And that's it for us. That's the Chinese qualifiers. Keen Gaming, LGD, Vici Gaming, all going to the major. We'll see Royal again, most likely at the minor qualifiers that are happening this week as well. And thank you guys so much for watching. I know it wasn't the most bloodbath, 64 to 54 games and all that. It was, it was short but methodical. And I honestly think that it was really great Dota, despite it not being as like this crazy active game. And congrats again to Vici. And thank you guys so much for watching. And that's it. That's all there is from us. And hopefully I get to cast for you guys again. You guys are great. Love you guys. Have a good day or evening. I don't know. 6 in the morning for me. So see you. Bye.